Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Taurus. If Taurus is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. So we have the Queen of Wands tonight, Taurus, and you can tell I just am like not in the flow of things yet. I will be in just a second, I promise. I have not done any readings for 2 days, and I feel like do I remember how to do this? We've been having some work done on the house and I haven't been able to film. So here I am finally. And check this out. We have a large crab. Immediately you can see we have a large crab. And I also let me just do my little thing real quick here with, if you haven't subscribed, think about doing that. It is free. Also, if you want to hit that like button or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. Now we have the crab. This could be a Cancer, but I have a feeling it's not about a Cancer person. I have a feeling that this is more about kind of the posture that you have been in your life, right? Kind of protecting yourself. Like things have not been super easy. You've been feeling like the world is kind of coming at you, right? Like things have not been going your way. People just acting like fools, right? And maybe even worse than that. Maybe even feeling like, people have been a little bit careless or selfish or predatory. And it has led you into your shell, right? You are in there. You have your armor up. You are not answering the door. Don't answer the door. Don't look in my window. Don't call me. Don't text me. Just kind of on your own tip here. Just doing your own thing. It does seem pretty large, right? So I do feel like there's kind of a decision, right, that is arising for you. Do I stay in this mode and kind of really maybe get locked into it? Because listen, it is like that sometimes. I'll say in my own experience, when I was younger, very social. I lived in the city. I was out every night. I waited tables. I was, I was always among people doing stuff, right? And as I got older, as things happened in my life, I ended up, being alone, really, and going into like super hermit mode for a few years. Not a few days, not a few months, years. Yes, years. And I cannot imagine myself now, even though I'm not as hermity, I can't imagine myself going back out into the world and being so social. I don't know. I found a place that it took away a lot of stress. And so it is kind of for you, maybe a choice of like, am I going to kind of really lessen the amount of people populating my life, right? Am I going to walk away from some friendships, some acquaintances? Maybe just living your life in a different way, not allowing access to yourself as freely as maybe you once have. Nothing wrong with that. I think it's actually really important that we get to a point in our life where we realize that allowing people into our private lives, into our sacred spaces, like our homes, like our, bedrooms and so on, it really does impact our energy. It impacts how we're living. It impacts the things we're filling our mind with, our emotions, from bottom to top. My mom used to say, tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. And I always thought, oh my gosh, come on, Mom. Come on. She was right though, right? And it's not just friends. It's not just about friends, but it's about what we fill our life with, right? The things that we choose. Now, some of this stuff is out of our control. Some of it is left to circumstance. Some of it is situational. Some of it, you know, it just shows up. It's just something wandering by, right? And yeah, of course, these things will happen. But we are responsible for what we keep around, right? And so I feel like this is a time where you are really thinking about, like, how am I going to be living? Even as I'm saying that, I see we have a little question mark right here. Let's get up in there. Right there, okay? Also kind of phallic looking, but we're going with the question mark, okay? But we do have that wand energy. So the phallic kind of symbol makes sense because it is one of creativity. It is that that creative energy that flows through all things. If you can think about, you know, the electric impulse that animates things, or the one that we love to talk about, right? The kundalini firing up, right? One with a sphere at a time, right? One chakra center at a time. And this is very much about that kind of phallic, masculine, fiery energy. Okay. Let's keep going. I want to keep looking. So now we also have, and this kind of, it's still the crab, but now we're going to turn it this way. We have a face, eyes, nose, mouth. Okay. And this is kind of, you can see, looks like a younger person. But then when we move it this way, we have a person here who is sitting. They're sitting, they look like they are probably enthroned. We have another person over here who is, and they both look like they're wearing some kind of headdresses, these two. Here's the head, here's the body, here are the legs. Also enthroned. They remind me very much of, you know, maybe like a Aztec relief, or you know, something like this. In this case, I feel like we have this beautiful balance of Empress and Emperor energy. We also have in the middle, it reminds me very much of like a warrior energy. Now, that coupled with this face that we see here, and the face really does remind me of maybe a child, probably a masculine child, and I almost feel like a younger brother, possibly. Okay. I wonder if you were you partook in the raising of your younger siblings, or this younger sibling. This might even be like a friend, or maybe the sibling of a friend, but it seems like a younger person who you kind of took under your wing. Okay. And I feel like as life has gone on, right? And you're probably grown up, I imagine. It feels like maybe this person has had some troubles, right? And I feel like there is this feeling of almost kind of like a hyper aggression. Very aggressive, very confrontational. But you, because you know this person, you see through it. You see right through it. All of the posturing and the words and even the actions, right? I can imagine them maybe getting into a tussle here or there. Things that normally you would think like, okay, that's really uncalled for. Kind of the norm for them, right? Kind of a rough and tumble person. But I think as there is age coming along, right? And they're growing up, they're probably adults, maybe even far into their, you know, adulthood, middle age. I feel like there's this sense of like, you have to give it up. Like, man, come on. You're not going to be this young forever, right? You got to get over like some of these hangups or these like triggering things, these reactions, coping mechanisms that you employ quite often. And I feel like for you, it's like you're the last one to like really be in their corner. And I almost feel, I know this about Taurus people, you all are loyal to a fault at times, right? When you decide that like we're like ride or dies here, you absolutely you will honor it, right? And so I feel like you're kind of the last one. We also have the number 492. Okay, we have the number 492 and 44. 44. So I feel like you're the only one. People get on you. Why are you still hanging out with this person? Why do you still talk to them? Why do you answer their calls? You know, whatever it is. But for you, there's no question, right? You're not like a fair weather friend. But I feel like more so than it bringing trouble to your life, it is the heartache. And I think that's really what it comes down to. It is the heartache. Because you're watching this person go through these things and you have answers, you know, but it's like they don't listen. Or they say, yeah, you're right. I really, yes, I see what you mean. I should really, you know, do that or whatever. And they don't. And I think that you are done giving advice, done like really going out of your way to talk them through, but you still can't walk away, or you won't, right? You can obviously walk away, but I feel like you're invested here. Okay, so I want to turn this, I wanted to look. This is weird. I don't know what it is. It looks like it says word. There's the R, D, and then J-O-R, or J-A-R, sorry, jar. Word jar? Or maybe it's mud jar, mud job, maybe J-O-B, J-O-B. Maybe M-U-D, something, I don't know. But there's a job, right? Some kind of job. And I see that we have a person right here who is, it looks like riding on a horse. They're kind of rearing back. We also have a person over here, you can see, who has their hand up. And it looks like they're reaching out for that job. The job word there. Right over here we have the letter E, lowercase e. And so I kind of almost feel like with the person riding the horse, that tells me there is a very intentional movement towards change. Okay, like, yeah, something's got to change here in my life. You know, you're feeling stagnant. You're feeling like, you know, you're stuck. You're in a rut. Or you're just like kind of tired of like what has been, right? It's like you wake up one day, you want to rearrange all the couches. You know what I mean? So I do feel like this is a time where you might be considering a different job, or maybe taking a second job, starting a business. Maybe you're post work and you are thinking about, well, what should I do with my time? You know, I maybe like have this time opened up all of a sudden, and I don't really know. Maybe I should volunteer. Maybe I need to, you know, see about doing little odd jobs here on the block or whatever, you know, handyman or mowing lawns, or, yeah, I don't know, whatever people do. All kinds of things, right? But I'm also looking at this and it looks like it says greed. G-R-E, and I don't know, E-D maybe? Greed. We also have the number 718. So I wonder if you are still working if there's kind of energy of your work really taking advantage of people, really hard to get a raise, the hours ridiculous, making people work, you know, you have kids, a family, whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, you're working all the holidays, you know, that kind of thing. And I think that maybe that there's been some anxiety about like, hey, I don't want to quit this job because look at the job market, you know, even if I do have another thing lined up, is it, you know, going to be something that is a lasting position? You know, taking that leap can be really hard. But I feel like you're already kind of out the door. I mean, at least mentally, you're just kind of like done with it. You're ready for something else. And so, you know, I don't know. I think that it might be something that is really worth looking into, kind of, you know, flipping the page, beginning a new chapter. Okay. So we have somebody who plays golf or played golf. Golf, but I also wonder if there is maybe some issue, or there was some issue. I kind of wonder if this is a transitioned person, if this is somebody who's passed away. Because we have all these birds. And to me, the birds say, okay, this is a message coming through. Sometimes it can be like maybe somebody in our life who we don't talk to, or that it is somebody that we are close with, but they don't know how to tell us something. And it's like psychically, you know, kind of in the aether. But I feel like this is maybe somebody who has passed. But it feels like there is this emphasis on golfing and gambling. And I see like a lot of tears, a lot of secrets, and just this feeling of constantly wondering what the heck is going on. What is going on? You know, growing up in an environment where nobody will tell you why everybody's upset, or why is mom crying, or, you know, this kind of thing. And I feel like there's this real just, I mean, it feels like an energy of sorrow, of feeling remorseful. Kind of like, I wish I could have got it together while I was still there, right? I wish I would have been able to see the large picture before I had to, you know, I had to transcend for that to happen. But if I could have done that in my life, I would have done it in a second. I would have snapped myself out of it. And there's a feeling of like a apology, feeling awful for putting all of these people through this. Because we know anybody who has lived in or lived around addiction, right? Lived in a household that has addiction, of, you know, or been the person in addiction, right? You know how affected everybody is. They say it is a family disease, and that is, it's so true. It is so true. So I feel like in this situation, really kind of almost like a plea, you know, continuous, like, I'm very sorry. Now, what does that mean for us on the physical side? We're still alive. We still have, you know, the wounds of the past. We live among other family members who were affected by all of this. It's hard to know what to do with that. And I understand that, but, you know, I just bring what is here, what comes through. Now, you know, I don't know. If somebody told me that in my reading, I don't know how I would feel, honestly. You know, if my family member was coming through. But, you know, it's something to at least, like, think about. I almost imagine, like, putting, like a little cookie on a handkerchief, and you wrap it up very neatly and you stick it in your pocket for later. You know what I mean? Like, that's the that's the feeling I get. Okay, we'll talk about this later, you know? Now, I do want to do some of these oracle cards. I want to ask the oracle cards. These are the oracle of the radiant sun. Please tell me, what are the next few weeks going to be like? Now, we're coming up towards the end of the year. Okay, we're going into 2025. I cannot believe it. I swear, it was just like 2012 and the world was, you know, all waiting to see what was going to happen. How is it 2025 almost? I don't even know. But we will, we're going to see. What is the vibe? What are some things that maybe are going to be going on? What does the energy feel like? I mean, just kind of in general. Power. Ooh, I like that. We got powerful Taurus energy. Power, vision, very much in alignment. Companionship. Ooh, that's nice. Powerful, full of sight. And in some kind of relation. It just feels good. Oh, flirtation too. Ooh, you are having a wild little end of the year here. Enterprise, there we go. So yeah, looking into maybe switching that job, starting that business, right? Oh, come on. Why do you always... Manipulation. Okay, so always on the last one. No, it's not always, but sometimes. Okay, so we got to do like at least 2 more. Now, just to clarify, manipulation of what? Versatility and eccentric. So we have all this good news, but we also have some kind of manipulation. The person is versatile and eccentric. So I'm guessing they're kind of a chameleon. This is a person that's going to tell you what you want to hear. They're going to, you know, think about what would they like, you know, like what do they like? What colors do they like? Okay, that's what I'm going to wear. You know, I'm just going to set the whole tone. They're very intentional, right? Now, this might be good. This might be bad. Maybe this is just how they kind of exist in life. It's not nefarious. They're just kind of benignly, you know, kind of decorating themselves to fit in, or, you know, kind of trying to relate to people and don't really know how to do that. But it could also be something, you know, a little bit more like they're trying to get something, right? So keep an eye out for that, okay? And with all of the holidays and family things going on, we really do have to be mindful of people and their intentions. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to do our 3 lucky numbers. 83. We have number 83. 64, 83, 64, 17. Perfect. All right, and we will finish the reading here with our Mary Magdalene Oracle cards. And I'm just going to flip through. It will punctuate the reading. We'll see what they have to say today. Union. Myself and soul are one. Myself and soul are one. Yes. As above, so below, so within, so without. All right. Taurus, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you, and Thank you for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Also, if you want to if you want to leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. And with that, I will say again, I love you. Take care of yourself. We'll talk in a few days. Good night.